shadow animal control on Monday, and I like animals that I don't see around Washington often, so I was like, tell me your best gator story. And I was joking, more or less,
Well, see, what had happened was...
we don't really have alligators here, right? But he's like, okay. And when I worked in Pierce County, I'm now the animal control officer, I got a call about a lady's dog, and I went and knocked on her door, and she opened the door and saw, like, the animal control vehicle and uniform and was like, oh, man, you must be here about the alligators. And in his naive young deputy of animal police days, he probably should have said no, but he said yes. So
no.
apparently the lady's landlord had, like, these kennels of, like, alligator pools. And
in Washington?
Yeah, like over south side, like Pierce County area, so around Tacoma, greater Tacoma area somewhere.
It makes sense,
Probably
actually.
in the
Yeah.
rural.
When you say the T word, then I'm
the
like...
rural part of it.
I got it.
But then, not only did he have alligators, he had a lemur in another room, which later I think went to the Point Defiance Zoo in the Tacoma area. And because they opened a new exhibit,
It's a great zoo.
it's a good, probably a good spot for the lemur to go because it doesn't.
I don't know.
Really...
A good spot for the lemur to go would have been my
But
house
then
because
he
lemurs
said-
are awesome.
But then he said there was like a room behind this like sliding glass door, and there was just a pit of snakes, and not just like the snakes you might have as pets, but like venomous, dangerous snakes and spitting cobras.
I can't say that out loud.
That's my story.
It's a good story.
That's ridiculous. So
Yeah.
wait, this you just found this all out like on Monday?
Yeah, on Monday.
Oh.
Like I was like, it was a really cool experience to just go like shadow an animal control officer and see what they did. And of course, like we kind of went on some more like they do a lot of animal cruelty stuff, so that part of it's not fun but it's like they do a really good job, and it was really insightful to kind of just get to ask questions with this guy and like learn about what he does, and like there's crazy stories like that. And like the chicken fighting that goes on around the Pacific Northwest and stuff, like it's crazy.
Really?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
I just thought the Pacific Northwest was like a hotbed for like serial killers and depression.
Well, that too.
Oh.
And chicken fighting.
And chicken fighting.
And
venomous
spitting cobras.
Alligator ponds.
Anyway.
And lemurs.
When I was in England, we went to their zoo, and they had a...
Oh, just the one England zoo.
Just the one England zoo.
Yeah.
It was it was the zoo in
You mean
London, but I don't think
England?
it was called the London Zoo. It was like the British, something, big long name.
Something British.
They had an open lemur exhibit that you could actually go in and hang out with the lemurs. It was awesome.
Their hands are so soft.
I've been like this close, like the distance from me to Dylan away from a lemur. It was amazing. You get up real close, take pictures, and they're just chilling, like eating grapes. It was awesome.
I got to feed one grapes when I went to the zoo.
Yeah.
And
Those
shot
are
a
the
video.
big eyes, right?
They had the red ruffed lemurs, and they just gently take the grapes out of your hands, and they'll like grab your hand and pull it towards you. Like you're not supposed to like present your hand too close to them. You give them your hand, and they'll actually grab your hand and pull it to where they get their other hand, and then they'll grab the grape out of your hand and eat it. It's so cool.
That's cute.
Super cute.
So is this now like Bite Me Podcast presents Nat Geo?
Yeah.
Man, that would be. We should probably not go into.
We should move on,
talk about
though.
this all day.
Yeah, I'm like, because we've already got like 8 minutes worth of content.
People will love it though.
Yeah.
We'll see what makes the cut.
I got a
Tell us
soccer
if you
game
want
to
more
watch in an
wackadoo
hour
stories.
and 13 minutes, so we gotta
what?
hurry. I said I've got a soccer game I want to watch in an hour and 13 minutes. So
Well, let's do this then.
Let's do this thing.
Welcome to the Bite Me Podcast, episode 73. We are live
And at double
on
speed.
Twitch. Right? So we're live on Twitch at twitch.tv/Byte Me Podcast. BYTE Me Podcast. And hello to everybody.
Everybody.
Vinny, Kevin, us, other people.
and electrical skateboard.
Yes.
Ooh. Is that
That's
like
a
a
fun name.
hoverboard? Or?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, I think so.
My name is Adam West.
I am Cliff Johnson.
And I am the Dylan.
And we are your hosts each and every week on the Bite Me Podcast. Occasionally, Vicky's here.
Occasionally, yeah.
Occasionally.
If we were hostess, we might be tastier, but you can only get hosts.
I could really go for that. Almost didn't right. I could go for a Twinkie now.
Yeah.
Ding dong.
Yeah,
maybe.
that's what I almost said.
Or the snowballs.
Swiss cakes.
Oh, I love the
cakes.
snowballs.
Or the Swiss rolls.
The zingers.
Zingers are real
What's
good.
the zingers?
The
It's a Twinkie with chocolate on top.
No, I thought zingers were the coconutty ones.
No, that's the
those are
snowballs.
chocodiles.
No, those are zingers.
That's a zinger. The zinger is the Twinkie with the chocolate. Then there's the snowball, which has got the coconut stuff on it.
What about the red
zingers.
chocolate, like the raspberry?
They do have like raspberry zingers too. There's like that's the problem. There's a variety of zingers.
All right.
So we've covered animals. We've covered
hostess snacks.
Hostess snack cakes. Now let's
How about
cover some
we
video
talk about
games.
what we played?
Well,
Did you play anything?
yeah, but upcoming this week, I've got a thing.
You
Do
got
you
a thing.
Do you
You
want to
got a
run this
thing.
show? I mean,
No,
you can.
I
We're
don't.
stepping on Adam's toes.
All right, so we got a lot of news to cover this week. Fort grenades. What does that mean? We'll tell you. GTA 5 is going to be losing a bunch of songs. Is it GTA 5 or GTA 4?
Also,
Oh,
yes.
gotcha.
Yeah, sorry.
This is a real good show this week so far.
Whatever.
Overwatch is getting a new PvE mode. Is that like Battle Royale kind of thing?
It'll be the return of.
I've never played
called?
Overwatch.
Uprising.
Uprising, yeah,
Okay.
it's like a new Uprising kind of thing.
Cool. We're going to talk about that. Radical Heights. It's the new Battle Royale game from the Lawbreakers.
Bosky.
Bosky?
Bosky, not Bosky.
Bosky.
Cliffy B. And the Bowls.
So we're going to talk about that because it's either going to be great or terrible. And if you still have some OG Xbox games, well, this is a good month for you.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Spyro, going to get remastered. Hang on, let me put on my shocked face. Okay. And then we got questions from Vinny, James, Joe Coleslaw, the Dons, Optimist Prime, Carter. Hey, Carter. Is Carter watching?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, hey, dude. What up? And awesome job in The Lion King, I think we need to say.
Oh, yeah, he did a very
shout
good job.
out to Ed.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
It's pretty great.
That's so cool. His costume was awesome.
Yeah.
Also, Mansox has got his uber important question of the
Super
week.
important.
And we're going to talk about your Humble Bundle Monthly that's coming up next. But first, we start with what we're playing. I've been playing Far Cry 5.
God, it's
Still,
so good.
It's so good. I wandered into Faith's territory by accident. It was like, you just entered Faith's territory. And I'm like, okay.
I'm like 50 hours into it.
Wow.
Man.
I thought I was way more hours into it, but I'm only like 9-10 hours.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've done a lot.
I've beaten the entire first area, 100% of the first area. So
Wow.
all stashes, all everything.
You're gonna 100% this game, aren't you?
I probably won't 100%.
Or come awful close.
I probably won't do all the like kill 7 turkeys and skin them kind of those like achievement-y kind of
Because he's a
things.
vegetarian.
Because I'm a vegetarian. No, I hunt the crap out of things in this game. I shot a moose today with a machine gun.
Jeez.
They're
And it
hard
still
to take
probably
down.
took
The
like
moose
an
are
hour to take
really
down.
hard.
Bears are really difficult to take down. Those cougars are really difficult to
Yeah.
take down.
Yeah.
Animals are difficult to take down
Double
in this
barrel
game.
shotgun, yo.
Yo.
Oh, that doesn't damage the meat or the skin or anything?
No.
Oh, sweet.
That's unreal.
But yeah, I'm probably 45 to 50 hours into it. I've beat the entire first section. I've beaten I'm almost to level 3 on the faith section. So I've beaten probably 60% of it, 65%
And is that
of
based
it.
on the resistance meter that you see
Yeah.
filling up? Okay, because
Yeah.
I'm in, is it John?
Yeah, the first one.
Is that his name, John? Which, interestingly enough, that's like a level 2 area, and the other two start off as like a level 1 area.
Oh, really? I thought they told you to go there first.
They like directed you south. Like, at least that's what I kind of noticed as
Yeah.
I was looking through some of the...
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because I think the people in face area are harder. They tend to, and maybe it just goes as you get
Yeah.
harder. Because they seem to wear more. You have to headshot more because they wear more like bulletproof stuff. And I don't know.
It's a well...
God,
anyway.
it's so good.
Yeah, it's a really, really good game. So I've been playing that. I have been playing... I've been checking out stuff on the PlayStation Now.
Oh, nice.
I popped back over to that for a little bit because I've got it. Figured I'd check some stuff out. And there was that game that came from... I think it was from the same people that did... I don't know. But it's called Lords of the Fallen.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So, and that was... if you've got a PS Plus membership, you got that free a few months ago.
The one with the bearded guy on the cover?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I know about it.
It's I played a little bit of that. It's way more RPG-y than I was expecting it to be. So, but that's been cute. And I also played just because Mighty Number 9.
Oh, what do you think?
So I've spent maybe 2 hours with it.
Sure.
It's perfectly fine. It really is perfectly fine.
How big of a Mega Man guy are you?
I like to think I was a pretty big Mega Man guy back in the day.
Yeah.
It definitely, you see where this came from.
Yeah. It's definitely one of those ones that I want to try out. I just haven't yet. I'll get around to it.
I think there was so much uproar over the fact that everybody was waiting for this thing, and it was just just that much different that it put a lot of people off. Plus the trailer when it came out, it was just like,
janky.
What are you doing?
Well, I mean,
dude?
you do a Kickstarter, and your Kickstarter, takes a millennia longer than it should. Like, Kickstarter's can be a great way to get your game going, but also can just be
it can take
really
you to
hard.
places that you're like, well, I was not prepared for that. So anyway, so that's perfectly fine. Again, that was in one of your PlayStation Plus games at one point, and also it's on the PS Now service. So
very nice.
But yeah, it's totally fine. It's perfectly passable little platformer, side scroller thing.
Nice.
So, but yeah, so that's what I've been playing. Oh, I've also done a little bit of Fortnite and Bridge Constructor Portal.
Nice.
You've been playing Fortnite without me?
A little bit on my phone.
Oh, man.
Everyone's playing that game, though. So
yeah, I'm like, why are you yelling at me?
I had an entire lunch conversation with my wife about Fortnite today.
Is she playing it too?
She is not.
Okay.
But it's entered that point of life where you can just chat about it because everyone knows what it is. It's weird. Yeah, we're talking about how it's kind of become kind of the new Minecraft, or it's entered that level of popularity.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
it's huge. Cliff, what about you?
I have also been playing Far Cry a lot because I just can't stop. It's like I said, I did the same thing this weekend as I did last week. And the one thing I have done that's new, though, is I did play it co-op. So last weekend, my brother and I played, but we just played our single-player game, but in a group. So we just, talked to each other about the game we were playing, not actually play the same game together. And then on Saturday this week, we actually played it together. And so he came into my game because he's actually played more of it than I have. He's got, 65 hours in, I think.
Oh, nice.
And the interesting thing about joining another person's game is you don't get any of the game progression. So, none of the stashes we found, none of the, bad guy fortresses we took down. He didn't get any of that progression.
That sucks.
It does suck, but he did get to keep all the money and all the perks that he found. So he went back into his game with more money and more perks than he did when he left. So does that mean if he goes in and does all this stuff with you, gets those perks, and then he goes back and solos it, does he get those perks again? Can he get those
I'm not sure.
Because he was ahead of me in the game, I would wonder if he already had gotten those perks and got to keep them. So I'm not 100% sure on that, but my initial impression is that yes, he got to keep both, which would mean, I guess, that you could actually OP yourself a little bit in that game. Pretty easy. Although, I don't know, do you find you're not super far into it, so you probably don't have a ton of money and a ton of perks, but I find myself just kind of
I've got a pretty decent amount of perks so far.
And I haven't been going crazy and just going I got 4, I'm going to go spend it. I kind of bank them until I actually need them.
Right.
And same with money. I've got $35,000-$40,000 almost all the time.
Wow, how do you have that much money?
Hunting, but also just the funny thing is once you buy your first set of guns, there's not a lot of things to spend money on, really. Ammo, I guess, and if you're good at picking your ammo off,
and I'm super not.
Oh yeah, so every single person I kill, I loot. So you just end up.
I do, but I'm also a really terrible shot.
Oh god!
So I just kind of blow through all of it.
It's same though. I'm notorious for okay, I've got this guy in my sight. Boom, and I shoot 6 inches to the left of his head, and then I overcorrect and shoot 6 inches to the right of his head before I just maybe I should just go for the body mass. It's I'm not.
If I want to go for the headshots, that's when I break out the mouse and keyboard.
Really?
Yep.
Interesting. Yeah. No, I think it controls really well, though. I think the guns are really good. I'm very happy with it. You should. One thing I will tell you is get the 50 caliber sniper rifle. It's amazing.
I think I might. So I know that when I bought the gold edition.
Sure.
So I think I got a couple of guns.
Oh, nice.
I know I've got a really badass sniper rifle that everything else that I can unlock right now
is not as good as. Maybe you got the sniper rifle to do it then, because that thing was amazing when I picked that up. Yeah, it's good. I also played a game called Adventure Pals. This is a game I've been following for quite a while, actually. They kickstarted, but I missed their Kickstarter. And it kind of came to my attention first because my kid's super, super, super into giraffes, as Dylan can attest.
True.
Yeah. And hyenas.
Yeah, and just mostly giraffes, though.
Gotcha.
He's got, I don't know, probably 100 of them in his room, maybe more. And in this game, you actually have a giraffe friend that you ride around on, and he sits in your backpack. So, like, when you jump, you can actually use him as a helicopter. He'll jump and he'll, like, swing his head around. You can fly around with him.
That is wacky.
It's super goofy. It's just a side scroller. A little bit of, I don't want to say Metroidvania, but a lot of exploration. It's not it's not Mario. It's more like, here's a level, and you kind of work your way through it and find secrets and that kind of stuff. Where you play a kid who, on his birthday, his dad's kidnapped by a bad guy, and you have to go get rubies in order to, like, pay his ransom to get him back. And the game's just full of, like, dopey in-jokes. And, I mean, like, your giraffe's name is Sparkles. And it's fun. Like, me and my kid played it. I've only played maybe an hour and a half of it, but we played it co-op, and it's a lot of fun if you're into kind of, like, just dopey, goofy, cartoony. The game looks a lot like kind of that Castle Crashers aesthetic. And when you play, like, because I was player one, I got a giraffe. He got a unicorn. They both shoot sparkles and wacky stuff all over the place. It's really fun. It's called Adventure Pals. $15 on Steam.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
cool. Dylan, what about you? What are you playing?
I finished Guns, Gore, and Cannoli.
Nice. Did you
really?
I didn't have much more to play after that first night I played it. It's a pretty short game, but it's only $15. Well worth it. I still recommend it after finishing it. It was fun. I think I'm going to kind of go on I'm going to try to, like, explore the eShop titles on the Switch and just kind of play some of those games that are in the $5 to $15 range, because it seems like there's a lot of enjoyment to be had at that price point. And I feel like if you buy one or two or even three of those games a month, you don't feel very guilty about it,
right.
and you probably will play them enough to finish them. And then I booted up Mr. Shifty on the Switch, because I don't think I ever finished it. I kind of got pretty far in and never finished the last couple levels.
Wasn't it bugged at the time? Didn't you run into some sort of bug that was making it so it was hard to finish?
I don't remember, because that was a long time ago.
You can get the Adventure Pals on the Switch. It's only $15.
Ooh, Adventure Pals on the Switch.
Oh my!
But it's a super fun game. I got back into playing it after I revisited Hotline Miami.
Nice.
Because I mentioned it the other day.
You finished that one?
And then I finished that. I played it all the way through, beginning to end. That's a good challenge. Like, I really recommend that game. Probably more so if you have a PC. I have it on PS4 and PC because I didn't have a PC when I first. I think when I first bought it on PS4, and I really enjoyed the aesthetic of the game and wanted to try it. But with the controller controls, it's so fast, and you die when you get shot. Like, if an enemy sees you and shoots you, you're dead. But basically, it goes the same way as, like, you shoot them, they die, or you hit them with a club, you kill them silently. Like, it's very, very fast-paced. But it's a very good challenge, and kind of it reminds you of how games used to feel, because they were hard because, like, the mechanics were really limited, but they did something really well, and that's kind of how that game plays. And it has the cool, like, old 16-bit probably.
Sure.
I don't know, whatever bit, couple bits.
There's some bits,
there's a few bits.
But it's cool how much theme I think you can have nowadays. Like, you just have more colors. Like, you don't have all these fancy textures and smooth, realistic graphics, but it's enough to, like, give you this really cool, like, Miami bright neon colors theme,
like, Miami Vice kind of stuff.
Yeah, with a really cool soundtrack. Definitely worth getting into. But then after I finished that, I was like, I should go finish Mr. Shifty, because it plays very much the same way. Much less hard, but it's a little more puzzly, because there's, like, lasers that you have to, like, shift through and shift away from explosives, and introduces some more puzzle elements into a similar style of gameplay. There's no guns, though. You have sticks. You can pick up, like, sticks from broken crates or staffs from the ninjas and whack people with those or throw them, but don't quite have the variety of weapons like Hotline Miami does. Because there's I didn't realize the first time I played. I don't know if they, like, added weapons, but, like, there's a lot of different weapons that did different things.
Miami.
And it's cool because the more you play, you'll unlock other animal masks. If you're familiar with the game, you notice the guy's wearing an animal.
Was that ever in a Humble Bundle of any kind?
I think
sure
I was actually just thinking that. I think I own Mr. Shifty and
You
Hotline
own it.
Miami.
I know I own Mr. Shifty.
My Steam says you own Hotline Miami.
Oh, okay. I'll have to play it.
So, but all the animal masks you wear do different things. Like, you might be able to look farther. You might start with a knife. You might get more ammo for guns when you pick them up. So you're able to kit out to this specific scenario or to your play style a little bit better. Or if you want to try to go through levels without using guns or whatever, it's fun.
Cool.
But I'm going to try to pick up the second one or see if to get it's only $15 for the second one, or I'll wait to get it on a sale.
I definitely need to try both those because I own both of them, just haven't gotten around to it.
I want to get into more. I need to start playing more of the 5 to 6 hour kind of games,
same.
just because it's like if every game, like we've got Far Cry 5,
God of War,
God of War is coming. We've got the Spider-Man game coming. We've got Red Dead Redemption 2. Oof. We've got a lot of 100+ content hour games.
I need to just find a way to sleep significantly less. Not just a little bit less.
I am living proof today that you can do that.
See, and the problem is I'm not sure you're right. Are you really alive, Adam?
I'm anybody's guess right now.
I need to figure out a way to play a lot more games because there are literally so many out. My goal right now is just to finish Far Cry before God of War 3 comes out. God of War comes out.
That's my goal.
And I'm not sure I'm going to make it. But I still haven't played Assassin's Creed Origins yet either. Ugh.
You had that realization, so I was like, I'm going to try to play some shorter games and finish them because it feels good when you do finish something.
Great when you finish
them. That's kind of I had that.
Because I'm sitting on $500-$600 worth of games right now, like the full price ones that I paid for over the last few years, and or last year, if that. And I'm like, I haven't finished many of them, but it's whatever. It's my life. I'll do what I want.
I take my body. I'm going home.
All right. So thank you for telling us what you've been playing.
You're welcome, Adam. You're very welcome.
All right. If you're listening on iTunes or your favorite, what is it, a podcatcher? Is that what they're called?
Podcatcher?
Yes.
I like that.
Sure. Let's call it that. Like us, rate us, review us, tell us what you like, what you don't like. But if you don't like it, just don't say anything because we don't like
that. Would
people.
Make me sad.
Yeah, but we've got 2,000 stickers, so
we do.
We can send you some. It's super fun. Also, we are an official Humble Bundle partner. If you go to bitemepodcast.com/humble, you'll see all the latest and greatest and newest and bestest deals on the Humble Bundle. And you can help charity, you can help us, and get some really
it's the best of both worlds.
Yeah. Some very bargain-priced content.
Oh God! Every month, though, we talk about Humble a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't ever feel like I'm shilling for Humble because I buy so much stuff from it.
Right.
And I love everything I got. And it's just like that Mr. Shifty. I'm like, oh no, I had that because it wasn't a Humble Bundle 3 or 4 months ago. You know, it's great.
It was on Twitch Prime.
Oh, that too. Yeah.
Or is currently.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
Oh yeah, and I've got all kind of Twitch Prime loot. What? There's all kind of stuff. Anyway, so do that. bitemepodcast.com/humble and do that.
Make me happy.
Okay, what do we do next?
News!
There it is. Mm-hmm. I love the hat.
He's got kind of the...
My eyebrows are cold.
Your eyebrows are cold.
Oh, God. Also, you can find us online when we stream our podcast, record our podcast each week. We try to do it online on Twitch and or the Mixer.
Yeah, whichever one's working that day.
Dopey face.
Yeah, so you can see exactly what we're talking about when we say, I like your hat, Dylan.
It makes for good radio.
Right, let's get into it. First bit of news, Fortnite is going to be getting a new fort defense item.
I love this so much.
It's interesting because the hardest thing for me to get into in the Fortnite is the building of the forts. Yeah. Just because I'm trying to kill that dude over there. I'm not trying to build a house.
Build first.
I'm not trying to build a house.
You're going to win that fight.
I know.
I love watching people that are crazy good at building, though, that can run and build and then build a ramp and then build and then build. It's crazy how good some people are at it.
I was watching a dude building a fort up, and he would jump and build the floor and land on the floor and then jump and.
Right?
How do you do that? And he was just boom, 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 boom up in the sky.
It won't take you very long if you start trying to do it.
I don't, but I
just get into a game and just start building. Just hit some trees down and build. Just do it.
Anyway, the good news is Adam won't have to do that now.
Exactly.
Because they, and I believe this actually came out yesterday. I think it is actually out.
Oh, is it already in?
I think so. I'm 80% sure, so don't quote me, I guess. But there is now a It's called a port-a-fort. It looks kind of like a companion cube from Portal, and it literally, you just throw it and it spawns a giant fort around you that you can go.
Kind of awesome.
It's really awesome looking. So if you head out, I'm sure just search for port-a-fort and you can watch a video of it happening. My guess is they are not super common. Like, I don't think everyone starts the game with a port-a-fort.
No,
because that would suck. But just a bunch of people inside their little castles, like not going out until the thing constricts. So port-a-fort, I think, is like, it's dumb. I think the best thing about Fortnite is they can literally do anything. They've got rockets you can ride on now.
They have homing rockets.
They can literally put any stupid thing in this game. People go like, oh, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, right. Oh, that makes total sense.
I love it.
That's cool. Yeah, well, for people like me who aren't good with the buildings of things.
Port-a-fort.
Port-a-fort.
I even like saying it.
Yeah. I like the idea that you can just add water and poof. Like, that's a fort. Like,
I mean, it's awesome. The animation for it is just
it's
cool.
cool.
Like, funk, 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 funk.
And it builds the exact fort you ultimately want to build to. Like, it gives you a very
massive, like, giant.
It's big. Yeah, it's real big.
Cool. Well, there's that. Keep an eye out for that if you're a Fortnite player. The Port-a-Fort.
Port-a-fort. It's fun to say, right?
Port-a-fort.
Yeah. It's good.
All right. Next, a bunch of songs from Grand Theft Auto 4 are about...
Oh, no, you're right. It is 4. You're right. I apologize.
There's that. About to be removed because licensing, I'm sure if you go back now, like, and play... like some of the original, like Vice City or something. Like if you play that,
it's happened before.
Yeah,
Vice City probably not, just because there was no way to update those games. But
I mean, like any newer iterations of that game that come out, there's going to be differences.
It's
in
like
the
when you watch
the
the Wonder Years on Netflix. Like it's all just different. Except the Wonder Years actually licensed all their music, so it's not like
what
that.
What show was that?
Yeah, there have been quite a few shows that were that way, where they just couldn't ever put them on Netflix or Hulu because they couldn't get the rights to the songs, or it was too hard to redo.
Was Grand Theft Auto 4 10 years ago?
Yeah, so Grand Theft Auto came out 10 years ago, and I'm sure that's the reason, is that the game they probably
licensed it for 10 years.
Well, I mean, I think the thing is, you got to think about 10 years ago, nobody thought that anyone would be playing games 10 years later, know? And it's crazy the longevity some of these have with new texture packs and new systems and new, they get ported and they get remastered and they get, whatever. And so, yeah, they're not, they're being a little cagey as to what songs those are. It may not be all of them. They may get replaced. They may not. Rockstar's not saying a whole lot, but a bunch of music is going to be pulled from those games. And that's, like the plus side of digital distribution and digital patching and all that stuff is that, hey, you can release a game, and hey, if something's wrong, you can fix it, and hey, you can just download those games. You don't have to buy CDs and so on and so forth. The downside is they can just go yoink. So I guess if you really like GTA 4, just turn off your internet right now, and and you'll be fine. Never connect to the internet again. You'll be just fine.
Kind of bums me out. Like, it sucks to like create something and put something in there on purpose and then have to take it out later.
Yeah, it's a real bummer.
Like, I feel like you should get a lifetime license for
that. Well, that was kind of like, and this is a way worse example, but Crazy Taxi, that was free on Xbox Gold, say 2 or 3 months ago, was lauded at the time for having a really good soundtrack by, that kind of quasi-punk band that their album was called Smash.
Offspring?
Offspring, yeah.
Oh.
They're a little roundabout, but yeah, they did the soundtrack, and then on that version of it, they didn't because the rights had expired. And it makes it a significantly less game, apparently. So it's just a bummer. But song licensing is, as people that work in radio, song licensing is weird. It's really, 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 really weird. So
and what I find interesting is that it's not a money thing for sure, because Grand Theft Auto 5, it's segued, is estimated to be the most profitable entertainment product of all time.
Isn't that insane?
How much money has this thing made?
$6 billion?
Holy crap!
Yeah. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that word. I'm like, oh,
holy crap.
Well, no, holy crap. It's totally, no, I grew up in Utah. That's all they say.
True.
No, but I think it's very interesting to think about it that way. You hear that they've sold 80 million copies, and that game never goes on sale, so it's probably 80 million copies at probably an average of,
say $45.
Yeah, $45, $50, and you're like, oh, yeah, that's a lot of money. And then you hear $6 billion, and you're like, oh, wow, that's a lot of money. And Dylan and I were talking yesterday about movies. And because Black Panther just became the third highest grossing domestic movie of all time. You're like, oh, okay, so what's the biggest one? And you're like, oh, Star Wars.
Is it? Well, adjusted
Force
for
Awakens.
Inflation.
Well, adjusted for inflation, yeah, it's
Gone with the Wind.
Gone with the Wind. But not adjusted for inflation.
Right.
It's The Force Awakens, which has made just under $1 billion. Yeah. And then you go worldwide, and you're like, oh, it's. I think it's still The Force Awakens, and it's made like $3 billion. And you're like, oh, wow, that's a big deal. Like, that's a big, big deal to have crashed. I mean, that's a lot of money.
It is
That's
a
lot of money.
So you take that amount of money worldwide for the Star Wars, The Force Awakens? Double that.
Yeah.
And that's what GTA 5 is.
Yeah. And I mean, I'd be curious to know what the cost of differences, though. How much did it cost to make GTA 5 versus how much it cost to make The Force Awakens?
Right,
Not $1 billion. That's
not $1 billion. Yeah.
You don't think they spent $1 billion cumulatively in development for Grand Theft Auto 5 between where it started and what they're continuing to offer in the way?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Of content?
Yeah. I mean, either way, making $5 million of profit is just fine. So.
You guys are doing just
right.
fine.
That's a good return on investment.
Yeah, I was very surprised.
So the moral of the story is don't pull the songs out of GTA 4. Just relicense that crap.
I wonder if they can't. I wonder if it's just...
I'm sure it is. Yeah. I'm sure they can't.
Or maybe they just don't care. Maybe it's not a money issue.
We just made $6 billion off of one game.
It could just be also that, they look at the number of people playing, the return on investment of that. It's just not there. So
True.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there is that GTA 5. If you bought it, well, good job on...
I've bought 2 of them.
The initial budget for the game was, they say, approximately $265 million.
That's what I thought, about $250,000.
But yes, there's been stuff since, but that was the initial budget. I bet it's not going to be that much again.
So they've probably spent less than like $354. But the crazy thing about that $6 billion, I don't know if that includes microtransactions from GTA Online.
Right, it probably doesn't.
Like, I don't know if it does or
just
not.
Game sales.
And I mean, nobody knows. No one outside of Rockstar knows. That was an analyst saying, hey, let's do some math.
And be like, can you break down your books for us? Yeah. All right. Okay, up next, Overwatch. Their next major PvE event is on now.
Yes.
And it's Retribution.
Yes. The last one was...
Uprising.
Uprising was literally the most fun I've ever had in Overwatch.
I've still never played Overwatch.
You should come. We should get... Is it 4-player? Uprising?
Retribution,
sorry.
It's a 6v6.
No, that's actual Overwatch. I think it's 4-player. The other one was 4-player. We should get someone else to come play with us because the PvE is so fun.
Okay,
it's absolutely so fun, and it's kind of challenging. It's literally the only way I ever want to play Overwatch anymore. I don't find Overwatch is fine, but I don't find it particularly compelling, but the PvE stuff is such a good time. So as of right now, I think it launched yesterday or day before. So you can go play some Retribution
for sure.
And who do you play as this time? McCree, Genji, Moira, and Gabriel Reyes, who's eventually become Reaper. So yeah, and it's fun to play it. Like, at least in Uprising, you could play as whoever you wanted, but there was kind of like a storyline of you playing as these 4 people, and it was really, really hard to play. It was way more challenging to play as the 4, especially if you didn't have people that had experience playing those 4.
Right.
Yeah.
And it plays a lot differently too. So it's interesting to see how the abilities work in a PvE style rather than a PvP.
Yeah, I can't recommend, if you own Overwatch, just go try it. It's a completely different experience, and it's tons of fun. Yeah. It's really fun. So maybe this weekend we'll have to get together
with all our free time.
Yeah. After Kids Fair.
Oh, that's gonna be a day.
Yeah.
All right, there's that. So we remember the game from Bosky Studios. Lawbreakers.
Yeah. Do we remember Lawbreakers?
We remember talking about it.
Yeah, there you go.
And it was supposed to be pretty good, just nobody really jumped on board with it.
I played the beta, and I thought the beta was really enjoyable. I'm terrible at it. I was just hot garbage at it. It was a very 4v4, as I recall, very fast-paced, very
a lot of verticality.
And it didn't play like a modern deathmatch shooter. Does not play like Overwatch. Played way more like... Unreal Tournament or
was it a little
like
floaty, or was it
just
a little
fast,
just
like
fast?
crazy fast, very very old school shooter. I mean, but that's who Cliff Bleszinski is. He's he's the guy from Unreal Tournament and Gears of War, and like he's responsible for those super fast paced shooters that just games don't play that way anymore.
Right. Lawbreakers crashed and burned, and last week they finally admitted, hey, you know what? And we failed at that, so let's try this thing.
Although they are still saying that Lawbreakers may not be dead yet. It may come back out as a free-to-play game. They're just kind of trying to figure out how to rework that. So
isn't it really difficult to get matches even made because there's like nobody playing
but that's
it?
because people have to pay for it. So
no one buys your game.
Yeah, possibility of re-releasing it as a free-to-play game might work. But they're saying they have to. They said it's not a matter of just like saying, hey, it's free now. It's a matter of figuring out your business model, figuring out presumably you would have some sort of microtransactions that would fuel that.
Yeah, exactly.
So could happen. But anyway, sorry.
So they have now unveiled their latest project. It is called Radical Heights, and it is a free-to-play battle royale game
set in an 80s action movie,
video game, or an action game show.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Love it.
It's so neon and like I mean, I think the thing is, I look at this and it reminds me of how I remember like stereotypes of the 80s. Like I mean, I lived through the 80s, and I don't think the 80s kind of looked like this, but it's like
it's the
I think
colors.
Parts of the 80s look like this. I mean, like,
it's those teals, and I mean, like the mall by my house that I worked at for years was like this Miami Vice pink and teal neon monstrosity. So I mean, maybe it's not as unrealistic as it is, but God, this game. It looks great. It came out yesterday. I haven't had a chance to try it yet, but I really, really, really want to, just because the aesthetic of it is crazy. And from what I've heard, it's actually pretty good too. Like early reviews, as you will, this is not like a full release. This is way early access. I think they just want to get the game out. I mean, I think they have to get a game out so they can make money.
So they got to do something because it seems like they, according to what I'm reading or what I got out of this article on PC Gamer, is that it's been a 5-month passion project.
Wow.
That's fast.
So in 5 months.
So they're probably using the Lawbreaker engine. They probably reskinned it and just pushed it out the door. But I kind of wonder if you can make a battle royale game with a single map in that kind of time. Like when you think about how quick Fortnite came out,
right?
I'm wondering if you've got a talented team and you've got an engine and you've got some assets, like if you can kick out. I mean, if you think about it, you're making one map, which is relatively easy. It's probably hard to balance, but it's not making
you
40
can make
maps.
a map.
Yeah,
right.
You have one player essentially. Maybe 2 players. Then this one only has one. You cannot play as, unlike PUBG and Fortnite. There is no female character in this game yet.
Oh.
I'm sure there will be.
Yeah.
Cliffy B is he's kind of a dude bro, but he's a relatively progressive dude bro.
But he's not an a-hole necessarily, other than his kind of a-hole persona, which is cool, I guess, for him.
But like his wife is also a very well-known PC, like she's a gamer, she's a streamer, she's so he's got that behind him too. So cool. I'm sure they will be. It's just kind of crappy that they that's the default and you launch without it, but whatever.
Well, I mean, so this looks it looks very Fortnite to me.
Very Fortnite.
The style.
I just want to get in there and try this crazy. They said it's a perfect game for streaming. I mean, it's Fortnite's a perfect game for streaming. This, I think, has a little bit of extra to it. It's extra stupid, extra physicsy, extra, whatever.
Kind of like if Saints Row went to that level.
Exactly.
Oh, now a Saints Row Battle Royale.
Yeah.
That could be fun.
Far Cry 5 has a mission, like when you're going through the game, you can see those Far Cry arcade.
Oh yeah. There was a battle. Somebody made a Battle Royale.
Yeah, and I hear it's not great yet, but I think that Far Cry 5 with its wacky physics and its wacky, like you can just light things on fire and the fire spreads and there's lots of explodables. I think there's someone's going to make a Battle Royale game for Far Cry 5 that's going to be real good.
Can't wait for that.
Anyway, this is dumb and fun, and I think I've decided that the way to do Battle Royale is dumb and fun.
Oh,
so.
right, absolutely.
Yeah, I think PUBG has its place.
For sure. I think it still has potential to become a better game, too. I still think it's... Every time I play it, I'm still like, man...
It's an unfinished
I don't know.
game,
I think the problem with PUBG... I don't disagree with you. And there's still enough people playing it that, we kind of like, oh my God, Fortnite is blowing up. But PUBG still... has a very respectable amount of players. It's still, people, it's still selling, still, microtransactioning and all that stuff. And so I'm sure they can turn around, but you've got to wonder at what point in time do they just kind of like
say, all right, we put enough into this.
Yeah.
Let's do another thing.
Let's ride this out. Yeah.
I don't know. It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Up next, if you happen to have a whole butt ton of OG Xbox games just sitting around, well, this could be a good month for you.
Could be, yeah. I don't have any. Do you have any?
No, I didn't even. I owned one for 3 months.
Yeah, I got rid of my OG Xbox before I moved to Washington, and I don't even think I had any games. I think I got rid of all of them. I just don't save those. Well, in a world where backwards compatibility wasn't a thing, like I never thought I'd be able to play those again. Why would I save them? So
was it 360? Could you not go backwards?
Mm-mm.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So this month you're going to get 19 new original Xbox backwards compatible games starting on the 17th.
It's 2 releases. It's the 17th and then the 26th. So there are some top shelf games in here. Do you just want to read them?
Blinks. So on April 17th, if you have these games, you'll be able to pop your disc into your Xbox One and play them. Blinks, The Time Sweeper, Breakdown, Conquer, Live and Reloaded.
Amazing game.
Right. Elder Scrolls 3, Morrowind, Hunter, The Reckoning.
I would be afraid to play that now.
It's so janky. It's horrible.
Elder Scrolls 3?
Yeah, the controls are horrible.
I tried playing that after I played Oblivion, and it was janky.
I tried playing it on the PC about 6 months ago. I got through the entire intro, and the guy's like, take this weapon. And I took the weapon. He's like, now go over there. And I pressed the wrong button. I actually stabbed the guy, and he killed me. And I'm like, I'm not playing the intro again.
I just remember trying to fight a mud crab, and I failed miserably. And I'm like, that's a mud crab. This game's wrong.
The controls are wonky. But anyway, you can play it if you own it.
Yeah. So Hunter the Reckoning, Jade Empire, Panzer Dragoon Orta, which I heard is that's the
Panzer Dragoon's fun.
Okay. And then SSX 3, which I love the SSX games. They're so much fun.
Jade Empire is amazing too. It's a really good BioWare RPG.
Oh, okay. Very cool. So there's that on April 17th. On the 26th, you'll be able to get to play Destroy All Humans, which is super fun.
It's real fun.
Full Spectrum Warrior, Mercenaries Playground of Destruction.
I still have that, I think.
Nice.
Do you really?
I'd have to find it.
That's so cool. MX Unleashed, Panzer Elite Action, Fields of Glory, Europe only. Star Wars, lots of Star Wars. So you've got Battlefront 2.
That's confusing.
And those
Jedi
are not current Battlefront. Those are the old real-time
ones.
strategy.
Those are the best ones.
Yeah.
So then you've got Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy, Jedi Starfighter, Knights of the Old Republic 2, The Sith Lords.
KOTOR, that is some good stuff.
I think I saw KOTOR as well.
Good stuff.
Oh yeah, and Star Wars Republic Commando,
which I think is also pretty good.
I'm like, what is? I didn't realize there were that many Star Wars games.
Yeah. Yep, some good stuff. That is fulfilling the promise that Phil Spector got on stage at last year's E3 and said, like, OG Xbox is coming back. Like,
that's cool.
That's pretty awesome. 19 games.
And that's all in 1 month.
And those are games that if you don't own, like, first of all, you can probably pick up super cheap used places. Mm-hmm. But also, you'll be able to buy them digitally. So you can actually buy all these games off the eShop. One other thing that is not in here that I would like to say, though, is Red Dead Redemption just got Xbox One X enhancements. So if you have the original Xbox 360 Red Dead, you can now play it in 4K.
Was Red Dead...
Red Dead's a 360 game, but it's backwards compatible.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That goes for Undead Nightmare, too. So.
Oh, wow. Holy crap.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Cool.
It's super expensive. If you try and buy it from the eShop, it's like $30. But I priced it yesterday at GameStop for $8 or $9.
And I still have a copy on my shelf.
Yeah. Do you really?
Oh, yeah.
I was just playing it on PlayStation.
We'll talk offline, but I want to borrow
find
that. Find it, yo. Because I want to play that game, but I probably don't want to play 40 hours of that game. But I kind of like to dink around it a little bit.
Yeah, I played the PlayStation Now version, and it's all right. It's perfectly fine.
Game's fun.
But it's real weird.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. So last but not least in our news, Spyro.
Yeah, back to my childhood, yo. And by childhood, I mean like late teens, early 20s.
Right? When we were just big kids.
Yeah.
I never played Spyro.
I never played it, but I know everybody loved it.
I played the crap out of this game. I don't know if
I
owned it, but I used to rent this all the time. It was one of the few games that my wife really enjoyed, too. And so we used to rent Spyros, and it's so good.
Nice. The Spyro the Dragon Remastered Trilogy is coming to the PS4 and the Xbox One, and it looks like it's going to be here in September.
Yeah, this is 1, 2, and 3. It is completely graphically remastered. They're redoing all the audio. They're redoing all the voice work, but they're actually getting a bunch of the original voice actors to be in it again where they have been able to.
I didn't know there was that much voice work in it.
So Spyro the Dragon is actually voiced by... Kenny something, the dude who does SpongeBob.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so he's actually going to come back. It was voiced by two people, but he was the more popular of the two. So he'll come back and do all the voice work for it. Apparently, they're redoing all that. This isn't a remaster as much as it is a complete redo of the game with modern graphics, modern everything.
Are they redoing the controls?
I would assume so.
Oh, I would hope so.
So this is being done by the people that did all of the the games that have Spyro in them, the weird Toys to Life. What are those things called? The Skylanders.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is being done by the company that did Skylanders. So they've already done some work with Spyro. I think it's going to be real good. I'm actually really excited about this.
Because I'd never played it, so I didn't realize just how much of a jump graphically this is going to be.
Oh, yeah, it's gorgeous. It looks amazing. Spyro's really fun. It's kind of an open world, Banjo-Kazooie kind of, collect everything, collect coins, collect hidden things. It's really fun. It could be really good. So
nifty.
Definitely looking forward to that. What did you say? September?
Yeah, it's coming September. I don't have an exact date in September, but it'll be here in September. It's going to go $39.99,
and it's going to be Xbox and PlayStation, which will be nice, and have Xbox One X and
Wasn't it
PlayStation
just PlayStation
4.
originally?
It was just PlayStation before.
Oh,
so
fancy.
so you'll have PS4 Pro and Xbox One X enhancements too.
Yay! All right, that's it for your news.
Good.
Did we cover everything?
Oh, we did.
All right, we're leaving. No, I'm kidding. All right, we have questions this week from lots of people, but we always start with our favorite guy. Thanks for watching us on Twitch right now, dude.
Yo, Vinny.
Yeah, that guy.
What's up?
I feel like every week your Vinny voice gets dumber,
Vinny.
and I don't know if that's good.
I don't know. I'm kind of choking right now on water.
Well, you've got a big
There's
jug
something.
of water.
I don't know.
All right. Anyway, so let's kick this off with our question from Vinny. What multiplayer game do you feel you would enjoy playing in a VR setting?
I love me some VR. Vinny right now is playing Skyrim in VR.
Oh, nice.
And he says it's real fun, in between trying not to throw up because the game's a little
pukey.
Well, I think it just takes some getting used to. He said the last time he played it was a little bit better. So the free walk apparently is not optimal.
Free walk is not good in any VR game unless you have a stomach of steel.
Or one of those cool walking things like
like in Ready Player One?
Well, I mean, they exist in real life, too.
Do they really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what?
Yeah, they're super expensive. They're like $1,000.
I would like one of those, please.
I would like one of those.
I'm going to start a Kickstarter.
Do it.
What multiplayer?
Get Adam. I think a GoFundMe.
That too, whatever.
Get Adam a
Kickstarter.
Thingy.
GoFundMe. Sorry. I'm real tired. Okay, what multiplayer game do you feel you'd enjoy playing in a VR setting?
Goodness.
I mean, just about any, MMO.
All of them. Could you imagine playing World of Warcraft in VR with those huge bad guys?
Yeah.
Or Destiny. Can you imagine Destiny with those giant...
Imagine how sick you'd get.
That's what I'm saying. I'm sitting here going, I would die.
Let's pretend we live in a world where VR is... We're in Ready Player One now, and you can do those things. Could you imagine playing Destiny with those big, huge end guys... Or Warcraft, especially Warcraft with the kind of cartoony graphics that Warcraft has. I love that aesthetic. That'd be so much fun to be like the tank guy taking all the hits, or God, I could really get into either of those.
I would like the Mii Plaza from the Wii and the Wii U.
That'd be
I would
awesome.
like the Mii Plaza to be in VR.
That'd be
to
super
just
fun.
walk around and look at all these janky drawings and these weird phrases that people
That'd
popped
be
in.
fun. That'd be super fun. I think a game I would love to play a game like a super cover-based shooter, like a Gears of War.
Right. Gears of War Division would be fun.
Yeah. Where you're,
Division.
the Division would be great, but where you're, very much like running up, diving behind things, and because as good as the Division is, and as good as Gears of War is, I don't think that a cover-based shooter they never feel quite as natural as I want. Like, how much time do you spend in those games going like, okay, hop the thing? No, really, hop the thing.
Yeah.
Okay, get behind cover. No, not that cover.
Don't
The
run
other
towards
cover.
the guy. Yeah.
Could you imagine if you could actually control your move from cover to cover and peeping over and
But what if it still had those weird lock-on mechanics to the closest thing for cover, and you're running this way. No, I'm going this way. Yeah.
I would love that. Dylan, you got anything?
Yes.
Oh, of course. He thinks
How
about these
cool
things.
would it be to play a WWE game in VR? It was WrestleMania on Sunday, so I had to throw out the
Vinny
wrestles.
also would like you to admit that you lost your bet.
Yes, I will get to that. I was saving it for the end of the segment, and I thought
right.
this would be a good segue
There you
into
go.
it. Because,
Okay.
But imagine, for a fan of wrestling, how cool would it be to walk down the entrance ramp into WrestleMania in like a virtual world and look around and like see the size of those stadiums, and then like it would be really interesting, I think, to actually like wrestle in virtual reality.
That'd be
like,
really cool.
It'd be real wacky, like. But I mean, it'd be fun.
But done right,
it'd be a fun experience.
I mean, that's the thing you're not thinking about too. Like, if you could play, like, I think sports games would be.
I was
really
just going to say,
fun
like, if you got in the Ready Player One, you got those haptic feedback kind of vests.
Can you imagine being able to play soccer or baseball? Like, I don't know if I want to play football in VR. That sounds hurty.
I don't know if I want to do any kind of sports bally exercisey stuff at all in my video game VR.
Well, maybe you have like an auto run button. Like, I don't know when I actually have to run.
But you also wanted to play a cover-based shooter where you're like diving around your cover. You're like, you're gonna shed some weight real quick.
That's a good point. Yeah.
I was like, I want to play like VR chess. Like,
I think the reality is like, I used to play a bunch of Guitar Hero. I know you did. Did you play Guitar Hero?
No. VR Guitar Hero.
Like that actually exists already.
Drums.
So the thing about like Guitar Hero is like you had to kind of play standing up because the guitars didn't work. Like they didn't sit on your lap very well.
Right.
And
Classical
sometimes, every once in a while I'd go to play like Guitar Hero. I'm like, I don't really feel like standing up today. Maybe I'll just play something else. So I really don't need a game where I'm actually running.
Right. Marathon runner. Anyway.
Yeah, so before we move on to our next question.
Vinny and I made a bet because it was rumored that The Undertaker would be returning to WrestleMania after a implied retirement after last year because he left his hat and trench coat in the ring when he walked out after losing his second ever WrestleMania loss. But John Cena didn't have a match for WrestleMania and called out The Undertaker to come back, and so John Cena could have a match, and Undertaker never responded until the day of WrestleMania, which obviously this is a television show, and it would be kind of silly that they would have a storyline in which John Cena would call out The Undertaker and then The Undertaker not show up. So that wasn't really the bet because that would be just bad. That would be bad for business and a complete waste of time. But I would have thought that would have been absolutely hilarious if they just ribbed everybody because it would have sold out anyway. It's not like The Undertaker and John Cena were drawing ticket sales to that. It was going to be sold out either way. But we were making a bet on who would win. And Vinny bet that The Undertaker would win. He felt that it didn't make sense for The Undertaker to come back and lose. And while agreeing with him, I said Undertaker will lose if it is his last match and will actually retire. Undertaker did win. He did beat John Cena because John Cena was unprepared for his match because of he never responded, obviously. Whoa. That's the storyline. That's the only reason he would have lost. John Cena would never probably have lost that match in real life. But
he's like 20 years younger.
No one won the bet because Undertaker is, in fact, wrestling another match. Therefore, it was a well-fought battle, but there's no victor.
Dylan has to shave off his eyebrows for this, right?
I said I would admit defeat if I lost the bet, but the bet can...
It's kind of a wash.
It's a wash.
The Twitch chat disagrees with you.
No.
Well, they're wrong because I said if it is Undertaker's last match, he will lose. If not, he will win.
My only input on this is I really didn't need to see the 53-year-old Undertaker without a shirt on.
Oh no,
he looked pretty good.
I'm sure he looked just fine. Stop body shaming.
Yeah.
Cliff.
Sorry, man.
I mean, he looked basically the same.
Better than I do with his shirt off, but that isn't saying much.
The match was very quick too. It was like 5 minutes,
3 minutes,
something.
Wow,
whatever.
John Cena, come on, dude.
Nah. Anyway.
Well, there you go, Dylan. So you didn't lose, you didn't win.
I didn't lose, didn't win.
Okay.
Vinny was right. I was also right.
For Cena.
Who is?
All right, Vinny. Thank you.
That's the storyline. If you didn't catch that, you're wrong. Because that's why Cena lost. Is because he was unprepared and he was sitting in the crowd, and then someone came up, a PA came up and was like. And then he ran to the back to get changed. Like that was the story, and that's why he lost
in wrestling.
It was such a quick amount of time because he was unprepared. That's the story.
I don't have any urge to watch it, but it's so fun to listen to.
Days of Our Lives for Dude Bros?
100%. And I love listening to it secondhand. Like I don't want to watch it. I just want to hear people explain wrestling to me. Love it. Anyway.
All right, Vinny, thank you for your question and the discussion that happened after it. All right, James asks, if you were the person that found the Easter egg in Ready Player One, what would you do with the Oasis and the money?
So you've seen Ready Player One. Have you?
I have not, I don't know the book, so I really know nothing about it. No,
okay, so
barely.
in the game or in the book movie, there's a guy named James Halliday, and he essentially starts Microsoft or
Yeah, he starts
whatever. He starts this huge game company that eventually spreads it, but it's a VR company that eventually kind of takes over the world. Everyone is in this all the time. The company ends up being worth billions and billions and billions of dollars. Yeah, trillions of dollars. Yeah. And then he dies.
$100 million.
Exactly. He dies, and kind of the plot of the movie or book is he says the person that can find these 3 clues and get these 3 Easter eggs and these 3 keys will win my company, essentially. And then
win control of the Oasis in like $6 trillion or something ridiculous.
There's an evil company that's trying to get it for themselves because they want to splash ads over. That's actually one of my favorite parts of the movies. We found out that we can put ads over 65% of people's view in VR without them having seizures. And I'm like, that's just Facebook.
Right.
But, so anyway, so the question is if you won control of a VR platform that essentially the entire world used and trillions of dollars, what would you do with it?
I have a very NSFW answer, but I will let your minds wander.
He's just going to make Second Life.
Right? Because that's a really good business to get into if you had that technology.
That's true.
Oh, yeah.
But other than that, Adam, what would you do?
I would just enjoy my money. I would probably go the same kind of route that dude in the movie did.
Yeah. Or more appropriately, the girl in the movie. What's her name? I've forgotten everything about this. I've read the book and the movie, but so his name's Parzival, and her name is yeah. So the plot of the kind of thing is she.
I hate that I did not like the movie.
Oh, I loved the movie.
It was a perfectly fine movie.
Oh yeah, it's just fun.
But yeah. It didn't do anything.
Oh, I
for
really
me.
liked it. I really enjoyed it. But it doesn't matter. Parzival's the main character. He's got.
That's
Artemis?
his avatar's
no,
name.
Artemis is his friend.
Artemis is the
girl.
The avatar's name.
She asks him the same question, and he says like, "Oh, I'd blow all my money on chicks and drugs," and she's like, how can you do that when there's so many people in the world that need help and need whatever because it's a dystopian society after like the climate change has crashed and we ran out of oil and stuff, and so she's like, people need stuff and you could give them stuff if you did it, and like it's super close to her because like her entire family died because of it. So but I think I'm the same way though, is like you'd like to think that you'd blow it on blow, but
I'd hang on to some money, of course.
Of
I mean,
course.
I've got trillions of dollars now.
Yeah. But I think I would like to think that I would choose the more altruistic route of actually helping this horrible post whatever Earth out of its.
Okay. Before I answer my real answer, what exactly is the Oasis?
The Oasis is the world. Is the virtual reality world.
Yeah, so essentially,
that's the game.
You plug
Oasis
in, the real world exists, but no one lives.
The Oasis is better.
The Oasis is way better because the real world's horrible and poor and no one has any money, and the Oasis is also where you go to school. Like no one goes to school. You plug into the Oasis and go to school every day,
right.
And that's a lot of people work in the Oasis and that kind of thing. So it's really like, I mean, if you think about how pervasive Facebook is in real life today, it's like that times a million. It's where everything happens.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So what would you do?
Yeah. Okay. So. I don't know. It's kind of tricky because I'm still struggling with that.
You haven't seen it. It's probably not fair.
Like,
unfortunately, I think our answers were way less interesting than they could be too. I'm like, I don't know. I'm a good person. We'd help people out.
Yeah, like I don't have a lot of desires. Like I would probably move to Montana by myself and write my books and stuff and do my own thing.
Let the Oasis work itself out,
and then kind of just use the other money to probably create jobs for people through things that I like. Like I'm not gonna just give my money away, but I'll start some companies that do cool things, like I don't make games and stuff.
Yeah.
And
nice guys.
The reality of the Oasis, the world of Ready Player One too, is that like everything's wrong. Like the government is owned by corporations. Like it's even. The theory is I don't even know with trillions of dollars and control of the Oasis if you can actually fix anything. Yeah. So
I would create propaganda all over the Oasis to dismantle social media.
Elections. Anyway.
Yeah. So there's that. Thank you for your question, James.
It's a good movie. Go watch it.
In Bitcoin.
The book's okay.
Do what?
I'd invest my trillions in Bitcoin.
There you go.
Good boy,
and then I would multiply my trillions by trillions.
There's no power left, so Bitcoin died.
All right. Joe Coleslaw wants to know, with the Dead Man Undertaker resurrection last Sunday at WrestleMania, which game franchise would you like to see come back from the dead? That was brilliant. Which franchise would you like to see rest in peace and be deleted into the obsolete abyss?
I don't know what any of those things
wrestling
mean.
References. You probably should have said "rest in peace" more like that.
God.
But anyway,
what game franchise would we like to see come back from the dead?
Spyro the Dragon. I'm very happy about this. Yeah. Man, all the old game franchises that I actually really liked have actually come back from the dead. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, though. I actually have a buddy who worked at Sony Bend, I think it's called now. It's the Sony development house in Bend, Oregon. He worked on the Siphon Filter series, which are PlayStation games.
That was a good game.
Like back in the day. Yeah, they're kind of like a cross between kind of a spy game and
they were cool. They were
cool games.
It was kind of like a Tom Clancy type
game.
Yeah,
very Tom Clancy.
Like a Splinter Cell.
That's the game I was looking for.
Something a little more assault-based, maybe.
And he worked on, I want to say, 1, 2, and a Mega something, I don't know. And I only played one of them. It was fun. It was hard. Dang, it was hard. But those are really fun games, and we both kind of said, like, he only worked on the first couple, and then they've released 2 more, but the last one came out in, like, 2007, 2008. And we were kind of surprised that they haven't been rebooted. Like, Sony still owns the IP. They own the studio that made the IP. And, like, the ones, they kind of tapered off around the third one, but then the other 2 actually were reviewed pretty well, and presumably sold pretty well, too. But in a world where they're not making new Splinter Cell games and they're not making some of those kind of cool, like there's the Metal Gear series, but
it was totally Splinter Cell meets Rainbow Six, the way Rainbow Six used to be, like those early Rainbow Six games.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that they haven't rebooted those. So that'd be fun.
Similar to like the GoldenEye, I guess. Those old.
What was your idea, Adam?
Parasite Eve.
Oh, I've heard about that. I've not played it. I hear it's really good.
Parasite Eve 1 and 2. They were on the original PS1.
Yeah.
And I want to say those were Square games.
I think you're right.
I think PS1 games were on Circles.
I'll hit him later. It's fine.
I think it was a Square game. I could be wrong.
They were developed by Square.
Were they? Okay.
Yep.
Really, really, really cool RPG.
Nice.
Just really, really cool story. Everything about those games were just fantastic at the time.
Sure.
I would love to see them.
98.
Yeah, I'd love to see them come back. Even if they just remaster and retool it, the same way they did with like Shadow of the Colossus or what they're doing with Spyro the Dragon, where they don't just, slap a fresh coat of paint on it, where they actually just retool the game
That'd be cool.
and see where it goes.
Nice.
Yeah, it'd be a good one.
Mr. Dillon?
Mr. Dillon?
What happened to Time Splitters? That's my question.
Like that, is Time Splitters the hologram one?
I think so. Like I can't really remember much, but like you played as all kinds of these characters from all different times.
Mm-hmm. And I want to say it was a. Oh no! Time Splitters is not the hologram one.
No, this is an FPS.
Yeah, Time Splitter. What was? Do you guys remember that from the arcades like a long time ago? It was kind of a not dragons.
Like a Dragon's Lair kind of
Dragon's
game?
Lair, but it was all like played in holograms. Do you remember that game?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what it was called.
I don't remember what it was called either.
No, Time Splitters. Time Splitters is definitely a game that I have not played.
Yeah, well, there was 3, and then the 4th one was eventually supposed to come out, but it just never happened, I guess. I don't really know what happened to it, but I would really love to play that game, because Time Splitters was great. The Time Splitters 2 specifically was the one I played the most, and it was probably one of the first, like, shooter games I really got into, I felt that it was better than, like, the N64 shooters, because you had 2 analog sticks on the PS2, so, like, you could play a shooter, and it was cool, because you had, like, all these different characters from the different times. So you were, like, the gangster from the 1920s, like, Prohibition-era gangster with a Tommy gun, or you could be a monkey. And the monkey was cool because it was short and fast, so it was, like, a shorter target. So, like, you had all these different classes, I guess, and these different statistics based on, like, aliens and all these different time-based things that were all meeting together, and the story moved similarly through different times, and you would play as the different characters in those times. So, like, it was just a really cool game.
That sounds really cool.
Love the third one was on the next generation, I believe. It wasn't quite as well received, I think, as the second one, but it was still a solid game and a fun, like, multiplayer action arena
very cool
type shooter. But a 4th one would be really awesome to bring back and see that.
The game I was thinking about is called Time Traveler. And it was actually done by the guy who created Dragon's Lair, so that explains everything. But yeah, it was like fake holograms. It was one of those Laserdisc games. It projected the game characters into a holographic effect using a optical illusion that made use of a curved mirror and a CRT television.
Oh,
but I used to play it at the Nickel Arcade, which is like a arcade where everything costs a nickel. It was fun.
Oh, is that what they do in a nickel arcade?
Yeah, right. Who would have thought?
All right, thank you for the question, Joe Coleslaw. Up next, the Dons.
I think this one's for you guys. I don't have a horse in this race.
No, this is you. You have.
Oh, right. I have to be the.
So the Dons wants to know who would win.
It's actually just for you.
Yeah. Who would win in an arm wrestling match, Duke or Kratos? Cliff, you have the deciding factor.
I assume you will be voting for Kratos and you'll be voting for Duke.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, it's obviously Kratos. Like that dude's a huge hulking, he god.
They didn't have steroids back then.
But
he killed a god.
Yeah,
a bunch of them.
Care.
And some titans
because he had mythical weapons, not big biceps.
Big huge biceps.
Mythical magical weapons don't win arm wrestling matches, Adam.
I'm pretty sure he ripped the face of minotaurs.
I don't.
Like ripped them open.
Yeah.
But he didn't hold 4 girls on one shoulder.
I mean,
I think
did he not?
I think you also have to think about the fact that Duke Nukem is like, I mean, he's a big dude with a big machine gun, but he's probably not in terrific health. Like that guy probably drinks too much. He
but his
definitely
arms
smokes.
Are ripped.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. I think
he's ripped.
I mean, and I guess
Kratos is natural.
I guess
Kratos is all natural. Duke, that's
natural doesn't win you arm wrestling matches.
I think the other thing to think of is the longevity of those two things. Like, where's Duke now?
Yeah, seriously.
He's probably like homeless, sleeping in an alley somewhere.
Still ripped.
Kratos done moved over to the Viking land, and he's got a kid.
You don't need a home to do push-ups.
He's got. Anyway, I enjoy that we've got like a whole meta going around Duke and Kratos. It's good.
Oh, the Dons. Thank you for that. Optimus Prime. Does this dude keep changing his name every week?
No.
Okay. Just checking. Optimus Prime wants to know, after VR, what will be the next big fad in gaming?
I think
I'm going to call it actual R.
Actual R. I think AR, though, is actually probably one of the next big things to come out. It's just getting to the point where it's working on phones, like the Microsoft AR product. I don't remember what it's called. HoloLens, is starting to be really interesting. And I think that they have a lot of business applications, AR does, which will probably help game adaption. So I think AR is going to be cool. I think you're going to start seeing a lot more stuff with like true AI, like learning AI, not like, hey, we program some bots to do some things that look like they're smart, but actual like machine learning where I mean we actually talked about that last week, where they started to let bots play Battlefield, something, and actually learn how to play like a person. And so I think AI could be a huge next big thing.
Creepy.
Right? NVIDIA just released a new graphics card that'll let, I think it's called ray tracing. It's a way to do like real time lighting and stuff that could be really cool, that doesn't involve like just throwing polygons at stuff. But you need a super powerful graphics card to be able to do it. So I think there's a lot of cool stuff coming that is going to have that kind of like, hey, this could be a fad, or this could be the next big thing in video games.
I'm curious to know if like the next generation of consoles, like coming from Sony and Microsoft, are going to be if they're going to try and go that hybrid route that Nintendo went.
I personally, I don't know if it's going to be the next generation of systems or the generation after that.
Right.
I think those generation of systems won't be anything but just streaming boxes. I think you'll stream all your games.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, but I'm still kind of curious to know or to think if like Xbox or Microsoft or Sony is going to offer not necessarily like an actual hybrid console, but have the ability to actually take a piece of it.
I think
kind of
Sony,
like how the Wii U was kind of supposed to be, where you could take that tablet into a different room and do it that way. Like, I'm curious to see if they're going to make some kind of an extension to the actual console.
I wouldn't be shocked at all if Sony does, just because they've already kind of done that before.
Right.
But at the same time, I also kind of wonder if at some point what you'll do is the exact same thing where, and you can already do this with like a Vita, is stream from your PlayStation to your Vita. And so I wonder if you'll be able to buy just like a dumb console that's all you can use it for, streaming in like your own home. So yeah.
Any thoughts?
Yeah,
Comments,
I could say something other than AR and streaming, because I do agree with those.
Yeah.
And to throw it back to WrestleMania, they actually experimented with some interesting AR kind of stuff.
Yeah.
There was like these 3D graphics that were coming out of like the sets and stuff, and like when Undertaker returned, they put like lightning bolts on the screen. Obviously, no one in the arena was, I don't know, experiencing that necessarily, like viewers at home, but it was kind of weird. It was like, this is a little weird. But I agree with those. But I could see. I was thinking about when we were talking about Radical Heights, but I'd like to see a trend return, like more stylized graphics, like a different art style kind of trend, because I miss that in games. I think sometimes like I have had enough of drop realism.
Right, you don't. Not everything needs to be a shade of brown.
All these brown tones. Like I like the color. Like I like the style. Like I really like Fortnite because they went with a style instead of just realism.
Those are some of my favorite levels in Destiny and Destiny 2, was those like above ground levels that were just gorgeous and vibrant. Far Cry 5 is actually very similar. Like there are some of the outdoor parts of Far Cry 5 are absolutely stunningly green with big huge fields of flowers. It's a green trees, green. It's very nice to play somewhere that's not just like
brown dead.
Yay, another brown dead. I'm 100% with you.
Yeah.
I'd love to see.
Like, I'm almost wondering
games.
though if like at some point, I mean, trends do change, right? Like we've made so many realistic games on a neutral palette. It's like eventually it's going to shift and people are going to desire something else. And so I could see that happening. I mean, I think that's kind of what happens with movies and things too. It's like I miss just the aesthetics of something sometimes. It's like I'll play a game just because it looks cool. Like I'm interested in Radical Heights just because it looks cool.
Well, and I think we're getting to that point where it's like, okay, we've got VR. No, it's not perfect, but it's not. It's a matter of time of just tuning that out, just like it was with creating all these characters and all these.
Well, that was actually what my answer was. Is like I don't think VR is a fad. Like
it's not a fad. It's a thing. Like it's here. So I think the only thing that really can change is just we've kind of hit the equivalent of like peak saturation and just how good things can get. So now it's time to get super creative instead of
hopefully right?
realistic. That would be nice. All right. Thank you, Optimus Prime. Carter Hiller, he wants to know, in your favorite game, if you could give your character one superpower during character creation, what would it be?
Yeah, so think of what your favorite game is, or just any game. I don't think, if you could give them any
what is this if...
So let's say you could give, so you're playing Far Cry, and you've created a character in as much as you do. Right. What would you like? I asked. We were at lunch. We were talking about this, and my wife's like, I want God mode because I can never get past level 3. Like I can squeak past level 1, squeak past level 2, and then level 3 is always what takes me. Right. So I need help.
I would just straight up want to fly because that's what I'd like to do in real life. Like I want to fly.
Have you used the wingsuit yet in Far Cry 5?
No,
it's real fun.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I want to legit be like, I feel like flying right now, and just like start flying.
Yeah, I like it. Dylan?
I don't know.
See, and I'm a big like I there are definitely games I play in God mode, but I don't think that's the cheat I would want. Like it's nice to be able to turn on, turn it off. Like that's fine. I think I would like unlimited ammo, or at least ammo that is never. Like I don't ever want to run out. So
you would like unlimited ammo?
Yeah. Well, but but there's something to be said for ammo.
Just enough ammo.
Yeah, just enough ammo. Ammo that maybe like, hey, maybe I ran out in this gun, but I'm not going to run out in this gun. Like ammo that is smart enough to know, like, oh, he doesn't. He ran out of shotgun ammo, but he's still got plenty of machine gun ammo. And then maybe after a little bit, maybe you're, actually, what I'm thinking about. So how games. where you don't have a life meter, but like, hey, I got shot a little bit. As long as I hide somewhere for a little bit, my life will come back. I want ammo like that. Like, I might have run out of ammo because I wasted a ton in this game, but like, if I just like back off for a minute and go hide or run away or something, that ammo is going to come back. That's the superpower I want is refreshing ammo.
He just wants to pick up all his cartridges and then go and stuff them over in the corner.
There's just
and,
nothing
like,
I hate more than playing a game that I'm like, I feel awesome when I've got ammo. And then, like, I've got a pistol. That's awesome.
Which even the pistol, though, in Far Cry 5, even the pistol, I can do some
awesome.
damage with that thing.
I love the silenced pistol in that game.
I love it.
Yeah.
I just want big head mode.
For everything.
For everything. Big head mode is great.
Big head mode in Far Cry would be great. It'd be so much easier to snipe them.
You can do headshots all day.
Right? Okay.
I still want skill of me, like, doing the job, but, like...
Just want a bigger target, that's all.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that your final answer?
Headshots all the time.
I like it.
Thank you, Carter. All right. Final question of the week from Mansocks. The most important question always. What is your favorite dipping sauce for nuggets, fries, etc., etc., etc.? I have different sauces for different things.
Same.
Yeah. It's not one size fits all or one sauce fits all. Sorry.
For fries, it would be mayonnaise.
Just by itself? Are you... Really?
That's what they do in Amsterdam.
Huh,
It's delicious. My mom turned me onto that when I was a kid.
That's fair.
It's delicious.
Yeah.
Or Frosties from Wendy's.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
Frosties is
a
great
good
for French
follow-up
fries.
if there's no mayonnaise.
Good choice, sir.
For nuggets, it would be barbecue sauce.
Interesting.
And yeah, what are some of the et cetera? Oh, for chicken tenders, I would go with ranch. Even though I know that chicken tenders are just a...
That's a good choice.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh, all right.
Just saying.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Wings, I would do like blue cheese or honey mustard.
I kind of forget that wings are a thing you dip. I haven't had wings in a long time. Interesting.
Jalapeno poppers.
Ranch.
Yeah.
Marinara or cheese sticks.
Marinara sauce, yeah. Although
ranch is really good with
that.
ranch.
Probably be pretty good.
Ranch is good on everything.
Ranch
basically.
is pretty much usable everywhere.
Yeah.
So Dylan and I, we went out to dinner Friday night after shooting my kids, taking video of my kids play. Anyway, went out to dinner with a bunch of people from the production staff and so on and so forth. And the lady sitting next to Dylan next to my wife actually, got a big tray of cheese sticks from Red Robin, and then had him bring out. They brought, and they're like, oh, and here's your cup of melted butter. We're like, Lisa, did you buy? Did you get melted butter to dip your cheese sticks in? She's like, no, I got this side of broccoli too. I'm like, oh,
but that's not a bad idea.
You want a vat of melted goo for your deep fried goodness.
Goo, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I am. Let's see. So for fries, I'm from Utah, home of fry sauce, and so.
Which isn't fry sauce just like mayonnaise and ketchup?
Yeah, but we invented it.
Okay.
It was invented by a fast food restaurant in Utah called Arctic Circle.
I love Arctic Circle.
Home of the
They
square
used
pumpkin.
to have those up here.
Did they? Oh, anyway, they're from Utah.
I think my dad has stories of going.
There was
to
one in
Arctic
Wyoming
Circle.
I used to go to.
Yeah, they're kind of spread all over, but I think they've contracted a bit. I like fry sauce, but I actually personally prefer. There's another Utah restaurant called Training Table that went out of business recently that did mayo and barbecue sauce, which is real good. Or you can do ketchup and horseradish, which is also really good.
Ooh, that sounds real good.
I'm a big fry sauce person. So I haven't eaten chicken in a long time. I like sweet and sour sauce, I guess. Chick-fil-A has that good dipping
Chick-fil-A
sauce.
sauce is delicious.
Is it?
But I hate
Yes.
Chick-fil-A, so whatever.
That sauce is amazing.
Yeah, their sauce is super good. I like to dip my waffle fries in it.
Waffle fries.
But, yeah. I like ranch for everything. Dipping pizza in ranch.
Oh, duh.
Top shelf.
Yeah. Done.
Yeah.
Sir?
Fries is either going to be a Frosty or campfire sauce from Red Robin.
Oh, campfire, which is just fry sauce, effectively.
Basically,
I bet you campfire sauce is actually mayo
it's
and
more barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
I do like fry sauce as well. And then I thought I had one more for that.
I can't believe we're talking about dipping sauce.
Nuggets would be barbecue sauce or hot mustard or honey mustard.
Yeah, I like honey mustard a lot, too.
It was really funny when I worked in a restaurant. I was like, I want honey mustard. How do I make that? I literally asked that question.
One thing about me is I do not like ketchup near or around chicken. it really bothers me, and I have a physiological reaction to it. And it'll actually kind of give me the heebie-jeebies. Dipping chicken strips in ketchup is not okay with me.
It's not okay.
I will fight you about it, and that's possibly true because I kind of shared my opinion about how I felt about ketchup and chicken to somebody at college, and they got really uptight about it and started getting in my face, and was the first time that someone ever actually swore at me. No one had ever actually directed a bad word at me. That was the first time, and I almost knocked him the
So
F
if we go to lunch, and I'm like, I want some chicken tenders, and I decide, you know what, I really want to dip my ketchup or my chicken tenders in the ketchup that I've been dipping my fries in.
And that's my own personal choice. Probably do this.
He'll front a little bit.
It really bothers me.
Wow. Okay.
That's hilarious.
That's crazy. I had no idea.
I love it.
Okay.
I absolutely love it.
Is that the end of your sauce stories?
So the answer is sauce, but not ketchup.
Right. I think ketchup is probably...
you like ketchup, though, right?
Yeah, ketchup's fine on French fries.
See, I don't consider ketchup a sauce. I consider it a condiment.
I think it's the same thing.
I
think ketchup is probably the least effective of all condiments. It's okay in most situations, but never what you actually want.
I like mixing ketchup and mustard together and dipping corn dogs in them.
Okay, that's good. Our coworker Sally, for her son's birthday, which I don't think he listens to this, so it's fine. Yeah, I'm going to do it anyway. She went to Costco and got him a big gallon pump action ketchup bottle. Yeah, because he puts ketchup on everything.
I don't know his name or his streaming name, but apparently he's a very well-known online streamer.
Really?
Apparently.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know what his stream name is, but yeah, apparently he actually makes money on Twitch.
What?
Right?
We need to talk to him.
Yeah, right?
All right. Well, thank you, Mansocks, for that very lively discussion about dipping sauces.
I love how Mansocks every week were like, come on, dude. Really, that's the question. He actually asked me one time, he's like, is Adam actually annoyed by my question? I'm like, I don't think so.
No.
Yeah. And then we're like, let's have a 15-minute philosophical discussion on
about
ketchup.
Dipping sauces.
I'll tell you all about ketchup.
Wow. All right, so that's that. If you have questions for us, you can always email us or just drop them in our Discord because we've got a whole channel dedicated to questions.
We do.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's wrap it up with some cheap free games this week. Humble Bundle Monthly. Humble Monthly, is this for next month's Humble Bundle?
This is for May.
May.
AI.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
Tell us more, please.
Dead Rising 4, which is your game if you want to beat the crap out of zombies with, I've seen this actually, a electric guitar, which is very cool. And I watched a guy, Purple Swordfish, play this, stream it. And he was tooling around on a Segway and tooling around on a golf cart and just beating the crap out of zombies. Real fun.
Game's so fun.
Yeah, and I've never played any of them, and I've always wanted to, so I'm actually kind of excited to be able to do this. Kerbal Space Program is another game I have not played, but I've always wanted to. Okay. So you actually design rockets. And launch them, and sometimes they take off, and sometimes they just explode. And I think there's a bunch of other end game stuff past that, but it's definitely a game I've always wanted to try.
It's like playing Rocket Surgeon.
Okay, exactly. And then Ruiner, I am actually not familiar with, or I didn't think I was familiar with it. But it's actually a top-down two-stick shooter that looks really, really, really fun.
Nice.
Yeah, so there's some good stuff coming out next month. So that could be yours for $12.
Yeah, and if you haven't signed up for this yet, just go to bitemepodcast.com/humble, and you can go through there. And for every subscription, that originates from our page, we get a little something.
Little something.
Yeah.
It's nice.
So do that. I actually just went ahead and paid the unlock early so I could get Dead Rising 4.
Yeah, I already have enough games to play.
Wait, is Dead Rising 4 already in Games Pass?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay.
But maybe, who knows?
Well, then I just got another copy of it.
Whatever.
Anyway, so there is that. Is that everything?
I think it is. I guess we could say real fast, if you are in the general Seattle area.
Oh, yeah, this weekend.
Yeah, and you want to come meet us, and you got kids, and you want their kids to hang out with us, we're going to be playing some Minecraft at the Angel of the Wings Arena.
So the Northwest Kids Fair, the Spring Free Trampoline Northwest Kids Fair at the Angel of the Winds Arena in Everett. If you're from the Seattle area, it used to be the Xfinity Arena in Everett. So we're going to be there 11 till 6, I want to say, is the hours of the Kids Fair. You can find the info online at nwkidsfair.com. So, yeah, just bring your kids, hang out with us. We got stickers, we got stuff, we got games.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Yeah.
We're going to do this later in the year in Puyallup.
What they really don't understand is this is not us going to show off games to the kids. This is us showing off the new banner we bought. That's
really
the only
nice.
reason we're doing this.
I'm so excited about the banner.
Like, if
and
you
all
bring
our stickers. We got 2,000 stickers. They're gorgeous.
If you bring your kids around, I'm probably just going to kick them and throw them away. We just want you to see our banner.
And then we'll talk about the banner. It'll be great.
Exactly.
Super excited.
I think that's it.
Good.
ByteMePodcast.com, BYTE Me Podcast.com/humble if you want to buy that stuff. Yeah. And find us on all the socials at Byte Me Podcast. Facebook, Twitch, Mixer.
All those
Twitter.
things. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, technically. Not much there.
I'm real tired, and I have to go to a birthday dinner.
Ooh, have fun.
After work.
I'm going to go watch a soccer game. That's all.
I think, that's okay.
That's all.
Bye.